Hi guys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Robbie Mills Fishing. In this video we're going to just take you along on our recent trip. We did the Fraser, towed up 3 small boats, and lucky enough we got a few good days of weather, only really about a day and a half, but the fishing up here is pretty insane. You just got to get the weather, take the boats up, and if you can get some good weather, as we found out, you can actually catch some pretty awesome fish. I jumped in with Matty Hill, my mate Matt, and towed up his centre console polycraft, known as the bin chicken. Yoo! Here we are, boys, up at Fraser, just got off the barge. Gonna slay some fish. The beast, the bin chicken, the poly, the fish slayer. Always such a beautiful drive up Fraser Island. This is the first time I've towed a boat up there, or actually been fishing off Fraser, except for punching out the bar through Double Island. But actually launching boats off Fraser, this is the first time. So it's pretty cool to be able to do it. Of course, you got to stop in here at Eli on the way and have a bit of a look, have a bit of a swim and a bit of a dip and a barbecue on the way up. It's a must do. Yeah, you definitely got to stop in at Eli and do the walk up the boardwalk and then walk back down through the creek. Yeah, it's pretty cool, just pristine, beautiful, clean, beautiful, cold water. We were staying in a little house up at Orchard Beach, a little shed house. Pretty cool little setup. We went up there first after Eli. I actually recorded going up Indian Head, but I somehow managed to delete it or not take it. It just happened to be missing from my phone. But after we went up to the house, we went down to the beach and had a look at the gutter and see what it was like for. We really wanted to launch the next morning. The next day out on the boat, we had a bit of a crazy incident. When we were about 10 k's out, we not long got out there and one of my mates had a seizure, which was pretty crazy. So we had to rush him back to shore and get onto Triple O, and ambulance met us down the beach and got him a medivac helicopter in and flew him out to hospital. Yeah, something we'll never forget. But luckily he's doing good at the moment, but still getting a few tests done to find out exactly what happened. So hopefully he's all sweet. The next day we decided not to go out in the boats. It was a bit too rough for a couple of days, so we decided to just go for spend a few days on the island looking around. First day we went up to Sandy Cape. So this is coming through Nagala Rocks here. So I videoed the whole way going through Nagala Rocks. It's a pretty famous cutting through the rocks. And then yeah, you head up Sand Hill, bit of a cutting, and go over a bit more of a hill and then come back out on the beach. But yeah, she's pretty tight through here, but yeah, it's a bit of fun. But it's beautiful up the Sandy Cape. So we went up there, had a bit of a look, had a bit of a fish, had a bit of a worm. We tried to catch worms. We were actually really hopeless at it. Yeah, so hopefully our fishing skills was a bit better than catching the worms. Half the fun of Fraser's just getting up there and doing all the different tracks and just seeing if you can get bogged or not get bogged. As long as you're with a few mates to get pulled out, or without mates, it doesn't really matter. Someone will turn up and pull you out. Yeah, good fun. This is just a small water crossing in the Gala Rocks. Nothing crazy, it's not very deep, so yeah, if you want to go through it, it's fine. It's not like you're going to really sink your 4B into it. And then it just turns back to sand not long after that, and then just gets a bit soft up this track, part of the track sometimes. But these conditions were pretty good, really. I've had a bit of rain lately, so that always helps. So yeah, we just punched up. Didn't have the boats with us on this trip, we just left the boats at home. So that's pretty easy. As long as you let your tyres down, makes life pretty easy, really. And that's pretty much it, coming through Nagala and over the cutting over the sandhill. We're just coming back down now. This is the easy bit, come back down this side and then back out on the beach. And then about another 20 minutes, half an hour run up the beach, up to the sandy straits, up to the sandy cape. Beautiful spot up there. After mucking around a bit on the sandy cape and trying to catch worms for a while, someone said we should go for a walk up to the lighthouse, so nothing much else to do, so we thought we'd go around the cape a bit more, and there's about a 2k walk up a hill, nice and steep. Wasn't much fun, that's for sure. Good workout, got the heart pumping, but when you get up there it would have been a nice view, except for we got to the top and it poured rain. This little shack was actually a little museum which had some pretty cool little bits and pieces in it. Pretty interesting to have a look. Yeah, and up the top there's lots of stuff about the history and when everything was built, when the lighthouse was built. So yeah, pretty interesting. The next day the weather wasn't too flash either, so we decided to go over to Wathumba, which is on the western side of Fraser, straight across from Orchard. There's a track over there that you can tow the boats over, and we launched in the creek there and did a big trip, big loop up around. Stopped at a few spots. There wasn't much biting, but it was interesting to have a look. What we did see on the trip though was a big black marlin swim up to the boat and just swim through the waves. It was pretty cool to see, about 50-60 kilo black right on the surface. It was pretty cool to see. This red line is roughly the trip we had over there in the boats. 3 boats of us went over, launched in the creek and headed out. It was a bit shallow on the entrance, but we got out all right and just headed up north of Rooney's Point, where we saw the marlin on the surface, and then just did a loop and come back down into Wathumba. Yeah, pretty cool trip. The next morning is the morning we decided to head offshore. It was still a bit rough in the morning when we got up, so we didn't actually head out till about 9 o'clock, but we still managed to catch all these fish, which was pretty crazy. Yeah, we didn't really have any marks, but this was the first day out. Yeah, that day we went out from about 9 o'clock in the morning, out till about, fished till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the RV, and got back in at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. We just missed the closing of the service station there, so the next morning we had to wait to launch in the morning. There was only one legal red caught that day, but that didn't really matter. Yeah, Johnny got that one. Good fish, mate. But yeah, we got a few jobbies and grassies, heap of red throat out there, heaps of tuskies. Yeah, so we're pretty impressed, really. We did pretty well, nearly 60 fish in the first day, and it wasn't even a full day. The next morning we had a late start because we had to get fuel in the morning, but we were on the water about 9 o'clock in the morning and headed out about the same distance out, but a bit further south this time. Yeah, I was pretty lucky to get 3 red emperors, so that's a bit of a PB for me for one day. 3 legal reds in a matter of half an hour, 45 minutes really. And then I got this cracking big jobby, which was about 9 kilos. It was 93 centimetres. Far out, I was wrecked after that thing, but Yeah, I haven't caught a jobby that big before. So I was pretty wrapped with that. We only actually fished for about 4 hours that day because we only wanted to spend about 4 hours out, as we had to come back in and start packing up. It was Friday that day, so we had to leave them that next day, the Saturday. So a bit disappointing that we didn't have too much days fishing, but as you can see, if you can get some good weather, it doesn't take much time to get some fish on board. There'll be some photos coming up, but this is just us punching back in through the bar. One of the other boys got back in earlier, so this is me and Maddie in the poly coming in. There was a few decent sets rolling through, that's for sure, so you just had to pick your time and just punch across. And then there was a nice little back eddy we could sit in and then just motor down to the beach into a little gutter and pull out. Wasn't the best conditions, but definitely doable. Nowhere near as easy as Double Island, but definitely doable. And this is a little video of Kieran coming in, Matt's brother, coming in through the bar. He went out by himself, obviously, because we were one man down due to dramas out the first day. But he just fished alongside us, was never out of sight. So always kept pretty safe out there, especially fishing one up when you're out of Fraser. Yeah, so this is the fish on the table here we got in on the second day out there in about 4 hours. So pretty crazy. Got a big coronation trout, heap of gold spot, big tuskies. I got a big red throats, massive jobby, black spot cod. And then all good things have to come to an end. The next morning we had to pack up. And here we are back at the barge. Pretty depressing. It's like you blink and the week's over. Anyway, well, thanks for dropping in and checking out our week at Fraser. Can't wait to get back up there and do it all again. Till next time, guys. Take it easy, tight lines. Yoo!